Hi, Tom Cole, and welcome into Steve Taylor's Community Connection. Certainly an honor and privilege today to be with Billy Laranga from Uplyft Toledo. Bill, I think Uplyft Toledo is an incredible concept. Kudos to you and your staff. But I know that you're kind of new. You're getting that word out, right? I mean, in the community. So tell the folks what Uplyft Toledo, what you're doing, because it's very cool.
Yeah. So Uplyft Toledo collects new and used sports equipment and then donates that to schools, organizations, or families that are underprivileged and want to get their kids into the game or playing a sport.
We're going to, starting April 1 through the end of April, with your permission and Uplyft,
Absolutely.
We're going to put together a promotion to bring in a used glove. You're going to get a copy of Steve's best-selling book, Tailor Made, which is a bestseller on Amazon. And then Steve's working out a cash voucher for a car purchase. So you get the book and a break on a car. And all you have to do is bring in a used glove for Uplyft Toledo. So what's your goal? How many are you overall trying to collect?
Yeah, so initially the goal is 300. We've surpassed that thus far, and so we're going for 600. So let's double the ante and see how we can do.
Well, Terry Crosby knows this. Steve Taylor likes a challenge.
All right.
So anytime you throw a gauntlet out on Steve, he's such a competitor. What in your background, Billy, made you want to, were you an athlete yourself? You look like you played some sports. Were you an athlete yourself? Do you realize the greatness of athletics in developing young folks to make you want to do this?
Yeah, certainly. So I remember when I was a child and I'd go out and play with the neighborhood kids. And I'd get mad when the lights turned on at night and I didn't even know it was dark, right? And what allowed that time to go so fast was playing with my friends, playing sports, dropping an aluminum bat in the middle of the street and moving out of the way for cars. It's just that environment, that time where you're playing with your friends and nothing else matters. That's what the kids in Toledo need. That's what the underprivileged kids need in general. So bringing that sense of you're playing sports, you're focused on building friends, learning lessons from the sports, and if we can give a glove, if we can give a helmet, something to a kid that says, hey, someone cares, we enable them to participate, and that's what we want to do.
In baseball, I think is making a comeback, Billy. I think for a while, certainly NBA was the sport the young people looked at, and the NFL. But I think baseball is starting to make some inroads. It's such a fascinating game because it's not the quick action of the NBA or the NFL and the hits and all those things, but there's something about a baseball game as you watch it and you see the grace involved, the athletic skill involved, be able to hit a ball out of the park, what that means. There's something, I think baseball is on the way back.
The great thing about baseball, and I think this rings true through all sports, but baseball specifically, it's such a small game or a long game. Like
right. There's games within the games, basically.
Yeah, there's so many small details, and I was just telling this to a team yesterday. If you lack to focus on the small details, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
So if we can, again, just teach those little lessons within baseball of just having patience, right? We're in an age where things are at our fingertips and we expect things now. But even a little bit of patience can go a long way in a child's behavior or their actions that they take. So again, sports has been tremendous to me, tremendous to my family, and opened a lot of opportunities for myself. And that's what we're looking to do. It doesn't just stop on the baseball field, on the football field. It's where does this carry this child in the next few years or his adulthood, whatever it might be.
Yeah, you're speaking really right to one of Steve's axioms about getting the details right. People don't realize that, we got the big things. Well, if you do the big things, but you don't cover the details, I've learned the big things don't go so well.
Yeah.
Billy, on behalf of certainly myself and everybody at Taylor, it's gratifying to see a young person like yourself want to give back to our community and help youth sports, and what that means to young kids that don't have a glove. It's hard to play baseball, without being able to put a glove on. So we applaud you at Uplyft Toledo and what you're doing, and we're glad to help and support you in any way possible. And I'm going to turn the second part of this interview over to the boss, Steve Taylor. So he'll take good care of you.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Taylor here with Billy Laranga from Uplyft Toledo. I want to ask a couple more questions though. I want to talk about Uplyft Toledo and how you started this organization, how you got involved in this great organization.
Sure. So it started, a friend of mine taught at Toledo Public Schools, and she was kind of complaining about the gym teacher always teaching basketball. And so I challenged her a little bit. I said, is it because that's all he knows, or is that because all he has in terms of equipment? A few weeks passed by. that's all he had in terms of equipment. So we brought him over a trunk load of footballs, tennis balls, a bunch of equipment, and next thing you knew, the kids were learning how to play catch with a baseball.
That's fantastic. So that first time, where were we able to get that equipment from?
Our garage.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So you just actually took some old stuff that you had and said, all right, we're going to donate this out to the schools.
Yeah, and quite frankly, we did that for the first couple months, and then we figured out you apply for a 501c3 and you can get money. So we found that thing out.
That's great. And you're doing a great job of getting money. You said you've already raised 300 gloves for the kids already?
Yeah, certainly.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Certainly.
Now, we're talking about just gloves, but is there other equipment that you could use too?
Yeah, so we collect all sports equipment: football, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball. You think of it, we collect it.
That's great. And I'm sure the kids get such enjoyment from this too, because let's face it, we go back to our own childhood days, right? In gym or recess, you want to be out there playing sports. And then, like you said, after school, you're out there, until the lights come on, right? Playing sports. And it's so important, I think, for all our young people to get, involved in that competition and, hard work, discipline. There's a lot that comes with sports. So what you're doing is it's fantastic. What drives you to do this?
I think what drives me to do this is just showing that this is our community and we want to invest in our community. Yeah. And the way you do that, so to see that your investment pay off in a few years, is to invest in the young, impressionable minds that we can raise up. And I think in a few years we get to experience the fruits of that labor, and showing these kids that people care is incredibly important.
That's awesome. Yeah, that a page right out of our playbook here too. That's what we try to do. We get so involved with the schools and in the community, because I agree, it's the young kids that we want to see. We want to make a difference and show them that people care and uplift them too, right? And give them a good future.
Yeah,
so,
certainly.
Great stuff. And you're having fun doing it though too. It seems like you got a smile on your face. You love what you do. You can tell just when you came in too. So pretty exciting stuff.
It's the team itself is what makes it fun. And when you think of a startup background or a startup type atmosphere, everyone's just putting their hands in, trying to help, and we wouldn't be where we were without them.
That's awesome. That's
fun.
Awesome. Talk a little bit about the team too, the Toledo Elementary Athletic.
Yeah, so that's a separate nonprofit that we work with and partner with. They focus on getting elementary sports going in the Toledo public school system. So they've introduced basketball the last 2 years, baseball's coming this spring, and then soccer is actually coming in the fall.
Nice. That's a lot of undertaking too, right? We sort of say anybody that coached ever, it's like herding cats, especially with the elementary kids, right? Trying to get them all together.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great though. You're doing so many positive things in the community. We're excited to get on board in April. Like Tom said, we're going to try to help raise some awareness and also bring some gloves in. So we're going to encourage customers to come in. We're going to give them, like Tom said, a voucher up to $500 off a new or used vehicle if they bring in a used glove. Also get one of my tailor-made books, so they'll a little trading going on. But really what we want to do is help the kids get as many of these gloves in-house. So we're going to encourage our employees to give. So we're going to do some fun things in-house too. And how else can people that are out there watching, how can they get involved?
Yeah, certainly. So on our Facebook page or on our website, they can reach out. They can help out. We have a pretty big event coming up called Brews and Burpees, where it's a competition for folks to participate in a CrossFit event or watch it and enjoy America's favorite beverage, beer.
Okay, that's awesome. Brews and Burpees.
Brews and Burpees.
And where's that going to be taking place?
Toledo CrossFit on Warehouse Road in Toledo. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I think I read something about that, and I heard that the burpees are actually optional, right? Like, so Tom and Terry and I could come down and enjoy some of the brews and not have to do all the CrossFit stuff?
Certainly.
All right, that's good. So if you're watching out there and you're not into burpees like me, you can come down and have a couple of beers, right, and support the cause?
Certainly, and have the sales guys compete a little bit and watch.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, sometimes our salespeople get a little competitive. I don't know. That might turn into a whole nother show, right? Well, good deal, Billy. Great having you on set today, and I'm so excited to do this. I love baseball. I played a little baseball growing up. Some people out there might be thinking like I was, do you really want to give up that mitt, right? There's a lot of history. There's, some tradition, some connection that goes along with that old glove. But I'm sure there's some gloves in the garages out there of people watching that they could donate and help out some of the younger kids in the community. Sure. So great job. Glad to have you in the studio today.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Keep doing a great job.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Steve Taylor's Community Connection. We'll see you next time.